Hi there everyone, it's Tim here from Tim Holmes Design, and today I'm going to be demonstrating how to create a fictional livery in Adobe Photoshop. Now, the other week I ran a small Twitter poll asking my followers to provide me with their favourite brands. It could be from any industry, any niche, and the 4 final brands that made it into my final poll were Pepsi, Nike, PlayStation and the Alzheimer's Association, kindly nominated by one individual. The design will be primarily based on the Alzheimer's Association because they won the actual poll to determine the primary sponsor in this instance. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to take you into Photoshop and we're going to start to build our brand new design. So here we have our, or my base template, which I use for my quick Photoshop livery designs. You can see it's made up of multiple layers, and each of the layers have various purposes, from colour palettes to certain elements changing to the wheels, and so on. So we know our 4 brands. Let's go get some identities and logos, and we'll drop them into our car. Okay, so I have now got my 4 logos, which will determine the end look and feel of the actual car. So we have the Alzheimer's Association, PlayStation. I've gone for PlayStation 5 just because it's the new console that's just been brought out. Nike, 2 variations, just the swoosh and Nike with the swoosh as well. And finally the beverage company Pepsi. So if we think it on the basis of what happened in the poll, so the top, let's bring the poll up so you can see. The winner was the Alzheimer's Association, so that will become the primary sponsor, so the car's going to have a predominantly white and purple feel to it. Then in second place we've got PlayStation, followed by Pepsi, and then followed by Nike. So that'll kind of determine the order in which I attack this car in terms of where I'll lay certain elements out. So then, right, Alzheimer's Association primary. So if it's primary, we'll press I, get a little ink blot tool, because I'm using a mouse and keyboard here. Some people might use a trackpad or a tablet. I've got a tablet somewhere, but it's hiding in a cupboard. So if we go I on the keyboard, press on the purple colour, that has now picked up our primary colour we're going to run with. Now currently on the car we've got a black layer, or a dark grey layer, which looks like almost like a matte black to a degree. I'm going to replace that whole layer, just pressing G. G will bring up the bucket tool, just click in, I'll drop the purple in. You can see we've got a really nice looking purple colour here. I mean, you could consider it to be a bit of a Cadbury's purple, but obviously we know this, and then we know that's a nice branded colour. It's very luxurious, but I think it's going to hopefully tie this whole look and feel together. Now if we go to the top, we'll get the Alzheimer's Association. We'll grab that layer, should give it a name. Got L's, and we'll bring that down. We'll bring it into our layer mask. On another video I do have these labelled up a bit better so you can see what the layers are called. So as you can see with the mask, what's happened is the whole body of the car has already been cut out, so it makes it just a bit easier for me to position certain elements. The logo itself is great. It fits to that particular area of the car, the side pod itself. We just need to do a little bit of a tweak just to get it sitting as we want it on the actual car. We'll give it, pressing Control T, right click. We're going to give it a bit of a warp. We've already selected that, and we'll go along, give it a slight arc, not to that extreme, just a little touch, and then we might right click again in perspective, just bring it at the top and touch. Also got that slight hint of an angle going on. Now as it stands, probably just a bit big still. You have to bring it down. If you press shift you can constrain Other versions of Illustrator and Photoshop will naturally do that, but isn't for some reason in this instance. Okay, I think we'll go with that as it stands. Now, I do like those little Alzheimer's logo you can see here. I think that will blend itself quite nicely into the actual rest of the car and give it a bit of something else. So we'll go back and get the logo again for that. Copy that logo, drop it back in. We'll just press W for the wizard. Just select that. We've got quite a high tolerance, so it should cut quite closely. Control X, pull it out so we can remove the layer. Then press Control V, and we've got the little ident here. Now, obviously at that scale, I think it doesn't necessarily add to the car itself. If we Control T, scale it up, we can start adding, I think, to the car in a fashion which will give the car a bit of a stylized look and feel to it. Just bring in little touches in here and there. Just to give it a nice feel. I'm not sure how we should go with that. Maybe have it just like it's all about playing around, whatever you feel comfortable with at the end of the day. Might just be just a little hint there, and then obviously, there's a brush that appeared there. Press Alt, drag it out again. That duplicates the layer. We'll bring another one down here, as if we've got maybe a number board at the bottom of the nose going there. You might see I don't know, number 5 in this instance, maybe for the car itself. So there we go. We've got a bit of style kicking in there now. I'm not sure it's quite right, so I might add some more texture to the car by dropping the opacity. Just giving it a little bit of something else maybe there. Drop it to the back so it's behind everything. Does it interfere? You see, that's just, yeah, it's just adding a nice little bit of, just a little bit of something extra, doesn't it? And that looks nice now. I think we're bringing a bit of something different to the car now. I think that would work as a general look and feel for a car. I don't think it'd be too bad. Just there maybe, just there. It doesn't interfere with the logo. The contrasts are high enough. I think that gives us a nice grounding for the car. Okay. PlayStation, they were the secondary sponsor. Now we go and press V, right click on the layer you want. In this instance it's called layer 866, we'll rename it something else. PlayStation, yes, 5. We'll drop it into the car, so we'll bring it into the layer mask. A bit too big at this moment in time. Shift, keep it constrained so it doesn't lose its dimensions. But where do we want it? Where would it fit best on this car? Would it be somewhere primary? I mean, it could even go just above there. Is that big enough? Is that enough? I think it might be enough there, and then what we'll do is we'll take let's go get another PlayStation logo. So I'm going back into Google to get them all over again. PlayStation logo. Let's have this one, actually. So have a look. Let's maybe have that one there. Let's see if it works. Let's go zoom in a little touch so we can find what we're. It's a little bit. It's not the best of logos. Normally you'd look for something that was vector based, SVG, EPS, and the like. You can always drop it into Illustrator if you want to play around with it as well, but this instance is just a quick PNG, so I'll just press W, give it a cut out. Looks like it's already cut most of it out. Press delete, there we go. Give it a bit of M for a marquee because I want to get rid of that there, she's in the way. And again there, get rid of that. Now we're going to right click on the layer, we're going to go some blending options. And we're going to simply tick over there and change it to white. I think that's the best. Got very white and a very white and purple theme going on here. I think that adds to the design. If we keep it nice and clean, I think that looks a bit better there. And we'll drop the PlayStation logo we've got inside the PS5 on there. Right, keep the PS5. Control X. Drop that in and we put that somewhere else. Let's put it on the side above that secondary. Yeah, that might work. As it's secondary, could even make it the whole front wing. It's quite a. I think it works. It's quite. It is a secondary sponsor at the end of the day, so we want it to be relatively big. Okay, let's bring in. Who was third on the actual list? Pepsi. So we're going to bring Pepsi in now. So let's take the whole of the layer itself. Control X, Control V. Where do we want to place this? It's third. It wants to be relatively big. Let's maybe pop it on the rear wing. Would be quite a standout on the side of the car, this particular, because it's so bright. Could just drop it in there. Let's try that. Oh, behind the wrong layer. There we go. The side of the car, you're going to see that. It's such an identifiable logo. I think it will work well. So we'll bring Pepsi text. Try and get into the convention of naming your layers. I know I've not done this particular video, we normally do with most things, but it does help you when you're doing work. So for example, if you right click, Pepsi text, it's easy to identify something. Okay, let's scale the text down, maybe drop that in just below the actual logo. You probably don't need the logo next to it, to be honest, because I think it does so the text next to the logo, really, because it is so identifiable. You know what? I might lose it and just have it over here. Yes, it's a little bit disjointed from the logo, but I think what we'll do is we'll bring across an extra logo. Alt, always will duplicate a layer. And you just see a hint of it hiding behind the rear wheel there. So our next logo is Nike. Let's grab a hold of it. So right click, we've not named it. So I've got Nike full logo. Drop it on and we'll bring it into our mask so you can lose it, reappears. And then I think this would probably work. Ooh. As a full logo on the rear wing. Now we've got a little bit of space, I think, here for some additional items. We could add a little small logo to the front for Nike as well, maybe, or some more hiding around. Bring it into the main body. Make sure it's scale constrained. Control T, Shift just to constrain it. Maybe just have it just on the side of the headbox. Let's give it a little name while we're at it. So it's the Association F1. Now we're not really far off, then we could have a little dude drone. Well, we'll do the white helmet, adds a nice little bit of contrast. I don't think we need to go any further than that. I think that's quite a nice looking car. I mean, you can, at the end of the day, I mean, it's entirely up to you. You could add any variety of, let's have a look at my custom shapes I've got quite a few hiding in here, although was. But my Photoshop's updated and binned them. Never mind, so let's go to a normal shape. So you could take a normal shape, give it a bit of colour, so now give it white. Again, bring it into the mask. Oh, make sure it's above purple. So you could add and bring other elements into the design as you so wish. It's entirely up to you. You can play around with this all day long. I mean, the whole front wing could be white if you wanted it to be that way. You know, there's no restrictions. It's entirely up to you. And then you can change the PS5 blending options. Give it a colour overlay. It wouldn't be white, obviously. Dark grey. It's another whole. Brings another dimension to the car. It's entirely up to you if you like it. I personally preferred it all purple. So we'll get rid of that and we'll get rid of this particular there, which we don't need. Okay, last little tip, and we've done this before. So to create our little shadow, here's an example of an old shadow. See it from something previously. Looks like it was a AlphaTauri based design. What we do is we control, click, and what we do is we get the actual, we select the main bulk of the car. So that way we can get everything that's inside it when we go to the top layer. We go edit, copy merged, or Control Shift C. So copy everything that's in there all the way down to the very base layer and all the way up to the top layer. Press Control Shift V, paste in place so it pastes it identically where it is. Control T again. And this time I'm going to right click on it and flip vertical. As you can see, it's put the model upside down. So we're going to just now take it based on the X axis from the top down, just shrink it down a little bit, just make it a little bit more shallow, as far as you want to go really. Now I'm going to drop it to the bottom layer, so Control Shift and the back of the two squiggly brackets. Now I'll drop it to the very bottom layer, right to the very bottom. And we're going to now add a layer mask. We've got one here previously, you can see it's already been created. I'll show you how to do it from that. So you got layer mask, hide all, disappears. So what we need to now do is go and get a gradient. So we'll click on the bucket tool or G, go over to our basic gradients, select basic. I always get this wrong way around. There we go. Right, okay. So take it from the bottom up to the top, and you can see it's just starting to lose the definition of the top of the car, almost like there's a bit of a reflection going on. And then I tend to drop it down to a low opacity, so then we've got just a very faint hint of the reflection stroke shadow. Right then everyone, that's my quick demonstration of a very quick livery. I hope the guys who voted for the Alzheimer's Association love the design, and fingers crossed we'll be doing another one again soon. Don't forget to click like and subscribe, and if you've got any questions or anything you'd like me to feature in the upcoming videos, please do so down below, and I'll see you again soon. Cheers, bye bye.